69. 69. 69. 69. It's another 45 minutes of this. 69. The sex move. 69. The position. Not for me. I hate it. In case you're wondering, literally no one asked, I'm telling you anyway. I hate a 69. I hate a 69. And I'll tell you for why. I can't rub my belly and pat my head at the same time. It's sex. It's not Cirque du fucking Soleil. Like, yes, it's important to share, but you can take turns. A 69 always ends in an 11. It's just two people lying next to each other feeling smelly and ashamed. I much prefer a 16, which is bum sex with a pregnant lady. I don't know if that's making the edit. Fucking hell. Right, we should probably start wrapping up fairly soon. Tried most of the kind of relationships you can do. I've done short-term, medium-term, long-term, lease. The furthest I ever got is last year. I lived with someone, and living with someone was a real game changer, because previous to that, I thought what having a girlfriend was. I thought that's where you meet up with someone 3 or 4 times a week, and when you meet up with them, you show them the 4% of yourself that is acceptable for public consumption. And when you feel the 96% bubbling up, you say, I've had a lovely time, let's catch up soon. You rush home, you close the door, and you regenerate. She was in my house, day 2, the 96% was everywhere. She thought I was a fucking weirdo because I cook everything in a wok. But like, if it's good enough for stir-fry, it's good enough for oatmeal. And I have a system for getting dressed that used to drive her insane. I'm going to share this system with you, and it will change your lives. This is how I get dressed, right? At the end of the day, when I finish with my clothes, I take them off and I put them in the washer. When the washing's full, I turn it on. I then move everything to the dryer, and I turn that on. And then when that's done, I then get dressed out of the dryer. And the cycle continues. What I am not doing is wasting my life on this middleman we call drawers. I'm not taking all the clothes. Quick, we must hide our other clothes. People are coming to the house. If they see we have other clothes, they'll kill us. They must never know that we have more clothes than what we're wearing. Quick, hide them properly. Take them fully upstairs. You must hide them and fold them, put them in boxes. They must never see we have other clothes. Oh my God, you know what I need? Some of those other clothes. I better go back up the stairs and open the boxes and unfold the thing. The years and years that I have saved. Do you want to know how I won 2 Emmys? Because I had fucking time. So I'm single now. No, I'm single by choice, her choice. No, it was actually mutual. We came to the mutual agreement that I was a prick, and she should marry her ex. But no, it's fine, she's dead. That you're delighted by. It's a strange group of people. Everything else is perfect, I wouldn't change a thing. And it's a very small note, and I'm sure it's cultural. As wonderful as it is here, and it is truly wonderful, I think, if we're honest, sometimes it does feel a bit edgy. Like, I don't always feel safe. And I had this experience in New York. I'm sure you'll be able to relate to this. It was a few days ago, right? I was out with a friend. It was about 12:30 at night, and I said goodbye. And I got the subway back to my hotel. And the subway was really packed, it was really busy. And the train I was on pulled into a station, and everyone got off my carriage except for me and one other person. And as the doors closed, I had the overwhelming urge to turn to that person and go, I'm gonna fucking kill you now. I mean, I didn't, but I felt it, and it was powerful. I thought, maybe I've been here too long. This next bit, I don't actually have a segue for, so I'll just take a pause. So of all the issues we have in the world, and we do have so many, if I may be sincere for a moment, I think that we have one major issue that all our other issues stem from, and that issue is wealth inequality. I think the gap between rich and poor is insane. It seems to be getting worse. And I think all of our problems come from that. And I think the only way we can truly start to deal with that is, I believe, we need to tax the rich. And it's something I'm very passionate about. I've been on lots of marches with my friends about it, and then a couple of years ago, I got a job, and it was the first time in my life I've been sort of fairly well paid, and I found myself on one of these marches with my friends, and I was like, tax the rich, tax the rich, tax. Maybe deal with them on an individual case-by-case basis, like, let's hear them out. Some of them probably got good hearts. Hearts of gold, if you will. So I'll tell you the truth, right? So I was involved in Ted Lasso, right? And thank you very much. And I will be forever grateful for it. It truly changed my life. I had been working for years and years before that. Turns out it makes quite a big difference when people actually watch the thing. Previous to Ted Lasso, I'd just sort of been making stuff and kind of kicking it down a well. Like, see you later, my 20s, absolute waste of time. So I did Ted Lasso, and it changed my life. And I feel very privileged, and people often come up to me and they say, like, what's next? What have you got going on next? And since you've been very generous to me, actually, I will share with you an exclusive, but you can't tell anyone, because the special won't come out for a while. Like, I've been in LA, I've been pitching the show, I'm really excited, but I haven't sold it yet. Like, I'm close. Anyway, I'll tell you. So the next show that I want to make is a show called MDMA Fighting. And what it is, you take two highly skilled MMA fighters, you dose them up with MDMA, 30 minutes before a match, then half hour later, you stick them in a cage together and you go, go! And they walk towards each other like... You are so big. Your skin is so tight. And the referee's like, come on, and he pushes them together, but they just start nuzzling each other's necks and squeezing each other's head. And he's like, break it up, and they're like, leave us alone. And they're just cuddling and cuddling and cuddling. They won't let go of each other, and they're cuddling and cuddling, cuddling, and they end up down on the ground, they're cuddling. And then they lie there arm in arm, and then they look up. And one of them goes, ah, it's a cage. And the other one goes, when you think about it, is it all a cage? Thank you. Thank you very much, yeah. The pictures are going well, you know. Mark Cuban is a yes, so we'll see. Just a warning, this next thing I'm going to say is the most controversial thing I'm going to say tonight. So just strap in, like, we'll get through this bit and then it's easy from here on out, all right? But look, I'm going to say this Because I do actually think it's important to speak your truth. And I don't want to pretend I'm something I'm not anymore. So I'm just going to say it, then it's been said, okay? I love musicals, all right? I love musicals. I'm not going to pretend I don't anymore. I do actually love musicals. I love musicals, but I hate plays. Plays are boring, and you all know it. Once you've enjoyed a musical, it's very difficult to get back to a play. Once you've experienced the majesty of defying gravity, very difficult to get anything out of to be or not to be. You're talking, plays are boring. Plays are boring, and anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you and themselves. Chekhov can fuck off. And Shakespeare? Why are we still talking about this cunt? I went to see Romeo and Juliet. It is an exact rip-off of West Side Story. You think I'm not going to notice because you took the clicking out, William? Come on. And if Shakespeare is such a genius writer, let's talk about the plotting of Romeo and Juliet. First two acts, fine. Star-crossed lovers, fine. Then what happens is Juliet says, I want to marry Romeo. Her dad says no, and he locks her in a bedroom with a priest and a nurse. Okay. She says, what will I do? The priest says, I've got an idea. Never a good sign when a priest says to a child, I have an idea. He says, I've got this poison. I haven't really tried it, but I'm pretty sure if you take it, you'll be dead for 48 hours. They'll have a funeral, they'll mourn you, they'll leave you in a crypt. And then in 2 days, Romeo can come along, you'll wake up, and you two can run off. If Shakespeare is such a good writer, the next line should be Juliet saying, does anyone have any other ideas? That sounds fucking mental. No, Juliet, it's always the most obvious thing. It's got to be the 48-hour poison thing. Can we not just sneak out the back? No, sorry, it's got to be the old 48-hour poison. What, you're saying they'll have a funeral? Yeah, what if they cremate me? You're overthinking it, Juliet. I went to see Hamlet or Macbeth, couldn't tell you which. I went to see Hamlet or Macbeth, couldn't tell you which, they're both gibberish, right? This is how low people's bar was for entertainment. In the middle of Hamlet or Macbeth, doesn't matter which. In the middle of Hamlet or Macbeth, one of the characters says this, well, yes, as the hare, the lion, and people laughed. I was fucking fuming. I was stalking the I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is seriously doing it for you? I said, take yourself to an open mic comedy night, listen